You ever wonder what the one thing is that separates the wildly successful from, well, everyone else? It's probably not what you're thinking. A guy named Earl Nightingale, a real pioneer in personal development, spent years trying to figure this out. He boiled it all down to this single, powerful idea he called the strangest secret. And today, we're going to unpack that very secret.
So Nightingale kicks things off by pointing out this really weird paradox. We live in what he called a golden age, right? An era with more opportunity than ever before. But despite all this abundance, most people just don't achieve their dreams. Why is that? That's the big mystery we're about to dive into.
The whole story starts when a reporter asks this super direct question to a Nobel Prize-winning doctor, Albert Schweitzer. It's such a simple question, but man, it gets right to the heart of the problem Nightingale was seeing all around him.
And the doctor's answer? It was so simple, it's kinda shocking. Men simply don't think. Now hold on, this isn't an insult to our intelligence. It's about something way deeper. It's about the deliberate, focused use of our minds. And that idea right there, it's the key that's gonna unlock everything else for us.
Okay, to make this really hit home, Nightingale asks us to picture a group of 100 people. They're all 25 years old, they're bright-eyed, and they are absolutely convinced they're going to be successful. You know that feeling? Life is this huge adventure. But what actually happens to them over the next 40 years?
Well, the reality is pretty sobering. By the time they hit 65, only 5 of that original 100 have actually made it, financially speaking. The other 95, they're either broke, still having to work, or depending on someone else. So what on earth happened to all that ambition, all that promise they had at 25?
And that leads us to the really big question, why? What is this hidden force that's causing this massive rate of failure? Nightingale says it all comes down to one really powerful societal pressure.
A psychiatrist named Rollo May just hit the nail on the head. He said the opposite of courage in our society isn't being a coward, it's conformity. And that's exactly why so many fail. They're just acting like everyone else in that 95% group, kind of drifting along without any clear purpose or destination.
Nightingale had this brilliant metaphor to explain it. Think of a person as a ship. Now, a ship that has a destination, a map, and a captain at the wheel, it's almost always going to reach its port. But what about a ship with no destination, no captain, no one guiding it? It's just going to drift aimlessly and probably end up as a wreck. The huge difference maker? Having a goal. Okay, so if the problem is just drifting without direction, then what's the solution? This brings us right to the heart of Nightingale's whole message, the strangest secret itself.
I mean, think about it for a second. Prophets, philosophers, teachers, for thousands of years they've argued about pretty much everything under the sun. But on this one single idea, there is absolute, total agreement. It's like a universal law.
And here it is, the big one. We become what we think about. That's the whole secret in just 6 words. Let that sink in. We become what we think about. The person who is constantly thinking about a clear, worthwhile goal is going to reach it. The person whose mind is just a jumble of confusion and fear and worry, well, they're going to create a life that looks exactly like that. Your mind is the ultimate guide.
And hey, this isn't some new age idea he just cooked up. This is a piece of wisdom that has been echoing down through the ages. The Roman Emperor Marcus Aurelius said it, the British Prime Minister Disraeli said it, the playwright George Bernard Shaw said it. They all understood this fundamental truth. We don't just get what we want, we get what we consistently focus on.
But how does this actually work? It can sound a little abstract. So Nightingale uses another really powerful metaphor to make it crystal clear.
Okay, imagine your mind is a piece of rich, fertile farmland. This land is completely neutral. It does not care what you plant in it. You can plant corn or you can plant deadly poison. Whatever seed you sow, the soil will go to work, grow it, and return it to you in abundance. Your mind operates on the exact same principle. And the process is incredibly simple, but so profound. It all starts when you plant a seed. And that seed is just your dominant thought, whether it's a crystal clear goal or a nagging fear. Then your subconscious mind, that fertile soil, works tirelessly to bring that thought into your reality. And finally, you reap the results. The harvest will always match the seed you planted.
Look, understanding the secret is one thing. That's great. But using it, that's what really matters. So, Nightingale came up with this simple, practical test that anyone can take to prove this whole thing to themselves.
So here's how you can test this for yourself. For the next 30 days, I want you to take one specific, clearly defined goal and write it on a card.
Look at this card every single chance you get. But here's the key. Whenever a negative or fearful thought pops into your head, you have to immediately replace it with the mental image of your goal already achieved. And then, start acting with the quiet confidence of someone who knows success is just a matter of time.
But hold on, there's one last critical piece of the puzzle. You can't just sit there and wish for stuff. Success is in direct proportion to your service to other people. Nightingale compares it to a stove. You can't stand in front of a cold stove and say, "Give me heat, and then I'll put the wood in." No way. You have to put the fuel in first. Be of service, create value, build something, and the rewards, the heat, will follow.
So, let's recap. We've seen the problem. Most people are just drifting through life, conforming like a ship without a rudder. We've uncovered the secret. We become what we think about. And now we have a plan to actually put it into action. Your mind is this incredible source of power. You can let it drift into a ditch, or you can grab the wheel with both hands and direct it toward the specific, worthwhile purpose. The choice is yours. You are in the driver's seat. The only question left is, where are you going to go?